U.S. District Judge Loretta A Kaplan ruled the settlement agreement should not be opened after Andrew's attorney asked for the document to remain sealed. Andrew B Brettler, representing the Duke of York, had argued at a previous hearing that Virginia Giuffre, who is suing the Queen's son for alleged sexual assault, had entered into a settlement agreement which would end her current lawsuit. In court documents filed this week, Mr. Brettler said he wanted to include a copy of the agreement when he files arguments explaining why he thinks the judge should end the case. He added the agreement releases Prince Andrew and others from any purported liability arising from the claims Ms Giuffre asserted against Prince Andrew here. The settlement agreement was struck between Ms Giuffre and Andrew's former friend and convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein. Ms Giuffre is suing the Queen's son for allegedly sexually assaulting her when she was a teenager. She is seeking unspecified damages, but there is speculation the sum could be in the millions of dollars. She claims she was trafficked by Epstein to have sex with Andrew when she was aged 17, and a minor under US law. Andrew has denied all the allegations. Epstein was found dead in his cell in 2019 while awaiting a sex trafficking trial at a New York federal jail. His death was ruled a suicide. In his Wednesday order, Judge Kaplan noted Epstein's estate did not contend that the settlement agreement must remain sealed. The judge seemed to urge the parties to ask his counterpart in the other case, Loretta A Preska, to unseal the document. He said Judge Preska might well view with favor an application to permit the public disclosure of the settlement agreement. He added, "But that is for her to say, ruling the agreement can be filed under seal and remain so unless Judge Preska and Judge Kaplan decide otherwise." Depositions in the civil case against the Duke must be completed by mid-July of next year, Judge Kaplan ruled earlier this week. While not specified in the court papers, both Andrew and his accuser are expected to answer questions under oath. However, it remains to be seen whether the Duke, who is ninth in line to the throne, will engage with the US court system. Queen, 95, has been ordered by doctors to spend a few days resting. This move, which resulted in Her Majesty pulling out from two important in-person visits, came after the monarch completed more than a dozen face-to-face and virtual engagements in less than 3 weeks. One royal commentator said such a commitment to duty at the age of 95 puts to absolute shame other working members of the royal family. The Daily Mirror's royal editor Russell Myers wrote, "The Queen TM's hectic schedule of late has in all honesty put the rest of her family, especially those less than half her age, to absolute shame. Relentless dose and TMT even cover it." Despite her advancing years, the Queen has constantly been among the hardest working royals over the decades. In 2020, she embraced technology and continued to work despite the COVID crisis and following lockdowns. At the end of the year, she was the third hardest working royal, preceded only by her 71-year-old daughter Princess Anne and 72-year-old heir Prince Charles. Over 130 days in 2020, the Queen undertook 136 engagements including video calls to charities and organizations. Younger royals followed through, with 57-year-old Prince Edward completing 126 engagements and 39-year-old Prince William carrying out 104. Sophie, Countess of Wessex, and Kate, Duchess of Cambridge, carried out 86 and 79 engagements respectively. While the younger royals completed fewer engagements last year, they also had to juggle between work and homeschooling their children. In January, Kate said lockdown had left her exhausted due to the fact she had to cover more roles within the house than ever before. She said, "I've become a hairdresser this lockdown, much to my children's horror, seeing mum cutting hair. We've had to become a teacher, and I think, personally, I feel pulled in so many different directions, and you try your best with everything, but at the end of the day I do feel exhausted." Since the beginning of 2021, the Queen has had a packed diary, interrupted only by the death of her beloved husband Prince Philip in April. But after a period of royal mourning, the Queen signaled she was ready to resume face-to-face engagements. Among the most important duties she completed there has been attending a reception during the G7 in Cornwall, hosting German leader Angela Markle at Windsor Castle and touring Scotland. Between late July and the end of September, the Queen carried out her day-to-day duties as the sovereign at Balmoral Castle, including dealing with the government's red boxes. She resumed her full-time work on October 1st, and has since travelled between Scotland, Wales and England for key visits including the opening of the Welsh Parliament, and the launch of the Queen's Baton Relay. On October 20th, the Queen should have left Windsor for Hillsborough Castle in Northern Ireland as part of a two-day trip to the nation to mark its centenary. On the following day, it emerged the sovereign had spent a night in hospital for preliminary test and has since completed light duties including audiences with incoming foreign ambassadors. Next week, the Queen was to join world leaders, activists and 4 other senior royals in Glasgow for 26 Colombian pesos, but the palace announced yesterday the Queen had regretfully agreed not to attend the planned evening reception. The statement added, "Her Majesty is disappointed not to attend the reception but will deliver an address to the assembled delegates via a recorded video message." Princess Charlenes shared a message on her Instagram account to inform her followers that her beloved animal had been run over. The wife of Prince Albert II also published an old picture of herself kissing her pet. In the snap, the princess looks happy and relaxed as she looks straight into the camera lens, while her dog is adorned with what appears to be an oversized Christmas decoration. The joyful picture contrasted sharply with its caption, as the royal informed the dog had been run over and killed. She wrote, "My little angel died last night, she was run over. I will miss you so much, rest in peace." The news was met with sadness by Charlenes' social media followers. One, called Vivian Cher Tiger, wrote, "So sorry for your loss." A second, with the nickname royally_yours, told the princess, "This is so awfully sad. I am so sorry." And another, named Deborah Chiapello, said, "I know how you feel. I'm so sorry for your loss." The tragedy comes during a difficult year for the Monegasque princess, who has remained grounded in South Africa for months following an ENT infection. Charlene travelled to South Africa in May, where she had planned to remain for less than a fortnight to carry out conservation work with her foundation and raise awareness on illegal poaching. However, she was barred from flying home as she developed the infection following a sinus lift and bone graft held in preparation for dental implants. As a consequence, she has undergone a series of medical procedures and visits in South Africa over the past few months. In mid-August, she underwent a 4-hour-long procedure, followed by another in early October. A Monaco Palace spokesperson told People magazine at the time this was Charlene's final procedure. This raised hopes the princess would soon return to Monaco and rejoin her husband of 10 years and 6-year-old twin children Jack and Gabriella. Earlier this month, shortly before her last procedure, she further spoke about her health issues, saying in a podcast she shared on her Instagram account, "I came to South Africa to oversee some foundation projects. I was unwell at the time. I had an infection which was addressed immediately. Unfortunately, it grounded me for some months here in South Africa." Reassuring listeners her health is steadily improving, she said, "I had my one procedure which was very successful. I'm well, I'm feeling much stronger. I've one more procedure, then I can't wait to get home to my children, who I miss terribly. I think if there is any mother out there that has been separated from her children for months, would feel the same way I feel." Over the past few months in South Africa, Charlene said to have remained in touch with her family in Monaco via regular video calls. Moreover, Albert and the children traveled to visit Charlene twice over the summer, first in June and then in August.